Define yourself. Will you impact the future? Will you lead the pack? Will you engage the world? Will you find the cure? Will you be the hope? So, will you? Come see how St. John students are changing the world every day. Visit us today.
This is the Seton Hall story, one that comes to life every day on our campus. This is the place where great minds discover, innovate, collaborate, and find their true calling. This is the place where passion has a purpose, where learning inspires leading. The bonds we make, the values we teach, inspire our community to take heart and take action. This is Seton Hall University. This is what great minds can do.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the EGFC. We are getting ready for our third match of the night, a Big East rivalry here. St. John's University, the Red Storm, going up against the Seton Hall Pirates. And this is one where these two teams, kind of tales of two cities right now. St. John's is one of those teams mentioned to be in that playoff discussion, where Seton Hall, they're still looking for their first win of this split.
It's certainly a tale that is a river wide as these two battle across the Hudson. And we're getting right into it with Playmaker starting for St. John's and their Roy coming up against Noah and his Bowser, one of many Bowsers we see in the EGF. But Noah, it's one that I would definitely say is on the upper echelon, having a lot of experience with this character, and generally feels like they know how they want to play the character, and their playstyle fits it thusly, though sometimes pulling the trigger just a little bit too soon, which could be considered fine against a rush-down character like Roy. Pulling the trigger may be the way they get out of some jams.
Things relatively even off the start, but Noah is kind of trapped on ledge here, trying to find a way to get back at Playmaker. He ends up eating some percent for it. That being said, Playmaker now the one off stage, and that down air will land, and Noah is the first to strike in this matchup, catching Playmaker off guard, and it is the first stock off the board.
Gets to grab his Playmaker and into the forward throw tech chase. Very well done on Noah's part to call out the not DI up and get a nice follow-up off the neutral take. But these upbeats out of shield, you gotta respect Bowser's threat range, not only out of block as the forward tilt comes in, and without a jump, that two-frame will grant Noah once again a stock lead, but this time a full stock lead, with the heaviest character in the game supporting them to keep this lead for presumably a very good amount of time.
That tough guy armor coming in clutch there. You saw Playmaker had the smart idea of up-being through that stage and clipping him as he tried to snap the ledge, but the tough guy armor allows that forward tilt to come out and catches him. That's how he takes that stock. But Noah here, at 91, he's got to be careful here. Remember, every stock matters, and 91 could be very dangerous. Playmaker now trapped along the ledge, has to try and find a way back. He gets caught, but he still has his jump. He will be able to snap back to ledge. That's an ambitious up smash, and he's going to get away with it too, because the side B comes through. Playmaker now playing around these ledges once more. The down air doesn't connect. Playmaker trying to turn this around, finds the counter, and it does take the stock, and it's a last stock scenario here.
And Roy, no shortage of kill power behind that binding blade, just needs to find optimal starters and can't get caught between that flame breath, though the side B comes out, not landing on the platform. Good DI, but does not manage to survive as a low percent one stock heads in favor of Seton Hall in this very first game, who, as you mentioned, are looking for their first win of the split, and absolutely the underdogs in this bout. Yeah, what a start.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Seton Hall, you look at the records of these two teams, Seton Hall is 1-10, so they are really, getting the blunt end of the stick on a lot of these matchups. But St. John's 7-4. Again, in the thick of that playoff race, as one of these teams that is to be feared, especially since historically they've been a team that's also taken down some top tier contenders. Teams like Siena, who won the season 1 EGFC championship. Teams like I believe they had a victory against DePaul, or no, it was Colorado, who was a grand finalist in that independent conference matchup from last season. So St. John's, they've got what it takes to compete with the top, and for Seton Hall to get that first point on the board, that's a big step forward for them. But this is a best of 3 set for this first matchup between these two players. And as we get ready for game number 2, what does Playmaker need to do differently here?
He needs to calm down. A lot of the times in many of these interactions, Playmaker would take the initiative, as per his name. But the trick lied in the fact that Playmaker would come down or approach with a button. Noah would block that and immediately respond with something like a nair or an upbeat out of shield, as what tends to happen with Bowser having a frame 6 option out of shield, as well as a nair that can encompass a lot of space. And Playmaker wouldn't be ready for it. He would land with that aerial and try to play as if that aerial landed and go for the next follow-up and get caught by that move. There's a lot of buttons that Roy can come in with, that whether it be moves like down tilt or landing buttons like forward air or neutral air, that are safe on block, to which he can block and respond accordingly. Playmaker needs to take his time just a little bit more if he's going to be looking for the hard punishes on Bowser, because we've seen him take Noah from 0 to 60 pretty damn quickly. But it's the way that he does it that he needs to be a little bit more reserved upon, like that, expecting the attack response and following it up with a out of shield punish of his own, whether it be a grab or an uppy out of shield of his own.
He got a quick 60 on Noah to start this match. He's got him at 70 with that forward throw, and Noah really struggling to find his way back to stage. That jab clipped him, and I think it caught Noah off guard for a second, but he was able to get back to stage, and now the situation is flipped. Neutral be an interesting edge guard option, and Playmaker is able to fight through it and get back to stage, but Noah will lose his stock for it, and because of that, it is a, full stock lead here for Playmaker.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that could have been a misinput, but we take those, as the old saying goes, and Playmaker is certainly riding with this stock lead and not going to let it slip any further. As the jab into back air, Jer comes in clutch, as always, closing it out with a 3 stocks to 1 victory now, and these grabs have been clutch. Playmaker taking their time, but mixing up their timings with some of these sharking up airs as well. Playmaker looks like all of those nerves are long gone.
Noah already at almost 70% on his last stock here, and Playmaker still surviving with 3 stocks on the board. That neutral B on stage, and it does clip him, but the forward tilt won't 2-frame him in time, so Playmaker does manage to roll back to stage until he gets hit by that nair. The follow-up into the back air from Noah takes the stock. So stock number 1 off the board, but a lot of work to be done here by Noah, and it feels like he's running out of time. Playmaker has caught on to a lot of the tricks from game number 1, and that patient play you were talking about, it's coming in clutch here.
Yeah, but Noah is starting to pull out the same trick, trying to dash back and play center a little bit more, though the aggressive back air, finding the sour hit, but it does not matter. What often comes up is whether or not you find the sweet or sour spot with Roy. And in this particular instance, the sour spot ended up being so much better than the sweet spot, because it sent at an awkward angle and forced Noah into a tech situation. Even if he hit that tech, he had to have teched in order to survive that spot. Great reaction on Playmaker to push when he saw the back air land and not just simply take the hit as it came. Though then SD certainly was a great way to get started when you're effectively getting out of the first minute of the game with a stock lead.
Yeah, Playmaker taking that advantage and really running away with it. I'm actually curious to know what that neutral B was supposed to be in that scenario. Like, for a minute, I thought, okay, maybe side B, and he's just trying to grab him and maybe pull him back to stage, or just suicide stock him just to get a stock off the board, maybe. Or maybe it's supposed to be an upbeat back to stage. Either way, it was an awkward scenario, and Playmaker able to take full advantage of it. This was a clean catch, though, by Noah. I like this. The nair to back air. I believe that it's a true combo for a certain percent window, but it was very well done.
Yeah, true combo. And honestly, one of Bowser's claims to fame, on top of having the upbeat out shield and a frame 6 command grab, nair into back air, and combos into back air in general, are so devastating. So if Noah can find a couple more of those, whether they be off of nair or out of funny things, like the landing hit of up smash low, no need a landing hit when you can get that nice sweet spot off of a platform tech chase, and it's Noah off to a fiery start.
Only 43 on Noah's stock as well, and that is an early stock to take. Nearly going off stage with it. I thought he was thinking about it, but no dice quite there. Playmaker is able to get out of it for the moment. 67 on Noah's first stock now, but Noah doing a very good job of just kind of reacting now to Playmaker's initial strategy. That forward smash are going to do a lot of work.
Absolutely. Playmaker needs to find something as that, though killing Bowser off the top is not going to be the easiest thing. This giant turtle boasts the heaviest weight in the game for a reason, so it's going to take one of Roy's more ridiculous confirms to close out a stock at a percent like this, something like a jab back air at the ledge. But it's getting out of hand real quick. Despite Playmaker finishing with a 2 stock, Noah's right now working on a 3 stock. And it's not stopping anytime soon.
Continuing to rack up that percent, but he does lose his stock to that up smash. Not something we commonly see the Roys in this league use, but it does find its mark there, and it does get Playmaker on the board. And now look at the quick combo. 45, make it 62 off the dash attack, and a trade there from Noah. And those trades, that's kind of what Noah is looking for, because he's got that lead, and if he can get any extra credit here on this stock, it could be very beneficial to him down the road here, as Playmaker already 88. He wanted another side B. Jab back air, not going to land. Forward air dodge around it, and the back air connects. Playmaker's running out of options here. That up B not going to snap to ledge in time. Didn't get it out, and Noah takes game 3 via 2 stock, and Seton Hall are back in the lead.
Wow. I mean, already you can see that this set, both teams should be on upset alert. But St. John's, in a matter of, we can't let this happen when we're in the playoff hunt. And, St. John's trying to keep their playoff run and playoff hopes healthy and not in dire straits. Meanwhile, Noah and Seton Hall, they're looking for their first win of the split. This should be a massive momentum boost. They're feeling great about the fact that they can lead off a game that could have been projected as just a slaughter, and they take the first. Not only do they take the first points of the battle, but they take the first set of it too.
And an interesting note here between these two players in general: Playmaker is 2-3 on the season, and this is his first appearance this season as a Roy. He's mainly been going ZSS, which I think is another favorable matchup. I think Roy might. You can argue the consistencies of that dynamic, but also Noah's 2-4. So these are two players that have seen a little bit of the spotlight and haven't necessarily taken the full advantage of it. And so for Noah to come out on top, I think that's a huge boost for Seton Hall. just in general, regardless of the outside results. Seton Hall getting that first set on the board. We talked about how they've struggled all season. Noah getting that third win for him to get close to even. That's a big win. And against Playmaker, who again, that feels, ZSS and Roy, those feel like losing matchups for Bowser, at least on paper, I guess. So, yeah, and so for Noah to overcome that, that's a huge boost for the side of the Pirates.
Absolutely. And it's huge to the fact that they can continue on with that flow. And hey, Seton Hall, I mean, not to say like roster and situation one way or the other, but looking at St. John's roster for the day, despite their players being all being very, very good in their own right, they're without some of their heaviest hitters, that being Mr. L and J Grunt, who are often seen as the anchors of the team going 4th and 5th respectively with that Pikachu and Greninja duo. Those two players won't be playing this week, and you started off with a win. Upset alert should be really, really sounding in their ears because they have a chance to play the ultimate spoilers.
Yeah, and as we get ready for our second set of the day, like you said, the fact that those big names are kind of off the board for St. John's is a huge factor because, I mean, those players in general, like you said, they are the anchors of this team. They have been some of the most consistent. They only took their first losses in regular season of EGF play last week when they lost to UTA, who we just saw play, and I mean, they look like they are in championship shape. So for their only losses to be against a team that is still currently undefeated, it goes to show how talented those guys are. And a lot of the players really only took their first loss last week. So now for St. John's, the question is, how deep is that lineup? How much of it is Mr. L and J Grunt, trying to power through? This is really where the spotlight gets shined on the depth of the roster, and that's what a lot of these championship tier teams have. They have 5 guys across the board who can play well, but then if one has an off day, the 6th man, the 7th man, they step up. And we're about to see that really tested here this week based on what we saw here in this first set.
You're only as good as the 12th man, which, I mean, I come from a primarily football background, so hence the 12th man, but pick your poison. You're only as good as that guy. And right now, it's a rough start to go down to Seton Hall, but St. John's, they have the means to make this back for sure, but it's going to be as much as we can talk about St. John's trying to build this deficit as Titko and Blobman take the stage. There's a little bit of momentum, but also a little bit of pressure now on Seton Hall to match the energy that Noah put out.
We'll have to see how Titko and the rest of St. John's respond, and the answer is pretty well with that down air. That was Colleen taking the stock off of Bloodman, and a big early lead for Titko.
Yeah, wow. Dolphin Slash isn't exactly the easiest move to interact with when in range to snap to ledge, but if there's anything that can be learned about Ivysaur, it's that down air transcends all weaknesses of the character, because oh boy, it's a doozy.
And now, Bloodman, good snap to ledge. Just from the trigger. Why don't you Titko? The side B seemingly out of takes the stock and that's a dangerous spot to be in if you're Blobman, but he does manage to force that Charizard away. So much raw, quick kill power on the table when this character is on the field, and Blobman's still searching for a way to take this first stock off the board. They're at 41 and trying to play very carefully. They know the damage can rack up very quickly.
Just shout-outs to Cynthia's theme playing in the background. It's so good. But so is Titko, who's really trying to, and successfully, with the Charizard at the end, taking a pair of stocks, blowing through any doubters that we were putting, any doubts that we were suggesting or that was suggested in the previous game, they are gone with the wind as Titco manages a 3-stock and then goes immediately to Seton Hall and says no bans.
Ooh, so I mean, he has the opportunity to up B again. I wonder if there was just a game sense thing where he just thought he would snap the ledge and the last bit of that neutral B, the lingering hitbox, clips him and he's not expecting it. But Blobman getting 3-stocked here, that's an unfortunate case for Seton Hall, who got off to that hot start. And Titco, I mean, he is one of the players that I think for for St. John's, that is one of those kind of go-to depth roster guys. 4-2 on the season. He's mostly been playing Pikachu, so to see the PT is an interesting switch up. And he's been very successful. I think he's one of those players that has been, he wins big, but also, has those weeks where he just, gets shut down. When the losses are rough, but the wins are explosive. And it feels like this is starting to turn into one of those weeks for him where he's on the verge of another explosive victory, as that scoreboard is now tied up courtesy of that 3-stock. We'll have to see how Blobman responds.
It was that up smash hit. I was gonna say that up smash felt a little bit overzealous, but when it hits, damage is damage. And speaking of, it really seems like Blobman, he's in a position where they want to be a little bit more forward with their play, and instead of being put on ledge and put in a really terrible spot consistently, instead now they're taking the fight to Titco and have a lead because of it, and that lead is only seeming to grow as the dash grab gets switched between, but no punish on Titco's part, as Blobman looking to try and slow the game back down, playing off this ledge, another jump, but the air dodges right into the F-tilt. Good mental change on Blobman's part to not get caught unawares and not grabbing ledge. As a taunt from them comes out too.
I do like what you said. Blobman has kind of changed up the pace of this matchup. He's trying to play more patient. He's trying to find the openings. That up smash, it just does the trick. And Titco is the first to strike. No quick response there from Blobman. And Titco knows, on the way I play in game number 1, you're not going to get away with those taunts here in game number 2. That up tilt not going to take the stock quite yet, but Titco is...
No, they got hit with that.
Oh, back throw into Flare Blitz. Titco, there's no other way to say it. He is playing on fire.
Wow. Okay, so there's a couple gimmicks with Charizard who can be quite the scary character to play against, but all of them are avoidable in many ways. Back throw to Flare Blitz is one of those, this shouldn't work, but sometimes it does. And when it does, oh boy, you're feeling pretty good about it.
Ooh, and a couple of early upbeats from Blobman here. And that's punished by the forward smash. No resources left in the tank, and Titco takes a 2-step victory in game number 2. And a demanding, and really a stomp of a response in this second set from the side of the Red Storm.
And with the teabags to boot, that was rough. That was rough in a lot of ways, but not only did they even the score, they surpassed the point total by a grand 4 points, with a 2-stock and a 2 points for the victory being put onto their total, as St. John's doesn't let any loss shake them for long. Though if Titco was performing as strongly, let's get black through the Flare Blitz, this dude. if Titco was performed as strongly, you have to wonder if they pulled the trigger on one of the big guns of their current roster early in order to regain a sense of control over the progression of the set, or if it was just if everybody's going to be playing that good.
That is the question that we'll have to see get answered as this match goes on. But Tico really played well. There's also something to be said on the side of Blobman, because Blobman, this was his 9th game for the side of St. John's, and he has had a rough season. He is 0-9 so far. But what is interesting about this about that stat in particular is that here's the cast of characters that he's now played: Mario, Hero, Wolf, Pit, and Lucina. That's 5 different characters. I don't think I've seen any other player in the EGF play more than, well, I think 3. 5 is a lot. So I wonder if the case for Blobman is just trying to find that comfort pick, just still trying to find that character in the first place, because he clearly knows what he's doing. You saw him adapt and change his playstyle. But there's something to be said of the bread and butter versus bread and butter of like playing the game versus bread and butter of the character you pick, I guess.
Yeah, it's a hard one to go into consistently, and this goes for everybody, like just across the board. It's hard to play multiple characters at a very high level. Most of the time you see players stick to about 2, with a couple exceptions. I mean, DeBuzz being one of them, to keep it in the tri-state area, who plays usually 2 to 3, with that third one being in constant flux. Currently it's Sora, used to be Min, used to be Palutena, etc., etc. 3 characters is a lot to maintain. 2 characters is a lot to maintain. You have to find that first that really sticks with you, whether it be a consistent pick like the Wolf or Lucina or Mario. Like all 3 of these, oh hello there. All 3 of these characters are very, very like easy to pick up and easy to like get your grips with, but then you can take the time to master. Switching between them and dropping one for the other and being in that perpetual character crisis, not only will it hurt your team, but it will also hurt you as a player.
Yeah, it's one thing, I guess, to have a general knowledge of the game, and I also understand, hey, if there's a certain matchup you really don't like, then yeah, why not try the quote unquote best counter pick if it's just one of those matchups that you're not a fan of. But there is also a certain level of, like you said, there's a lot of players that they are set in stone with one character, and you see them grind that out for long enough and they get to that kind of next level. And I feel like that's going to be the challenge for Blobman right now, because 5 is just a large number of the cast to really kind of master. So that being said, we're on to set number 3 between these 2 teams. Mr. Saturn, the Link player on your screen for the side of St. John's, and it's Owzer the Bowser, the other Bowser on the Pirates team, making an appearance.
I knew there was 2 of them on this team, and the pair of turtles are certainly showing no signs of stoppage, as he just tried to forward smash this bomb to just spelt it to away. With the constant taunting on both sides, as well as the teabagging from the last game, it helps. It's starting to paint a picture that these 2, they see each other fairly, at least a little bit, whether it be in scrimmages or just they're both in. All of these players occupy the same region. They could meet up somewhere in person too.
This is a Big East rivalry, although the Big East is not a full conference here in the Super Smash Brothers scene. They both are from that same collegiate conference, so they do see each other quite often, and that rivalry is ever present. I'm still laughing at the fact that he forward smashed that bomb and it went nowhere. It went absolutely nowhere.
He dropped it and it just moved completely. But hey, he's not living in this current lead, like 3 stocks to 2, living at 160, almost getting the suicide drop with the side B as well. Not finding it though as Owzer. These Bowser players on Seton Hall are marking their territory as the bomb toss goes out it lets Mr. Saturn have a chance at recovering, but it also threw off his angles so that he couldn't recover.
That was what a sequence. We're gonna have to see the replay on that one because that was a great throw by Owzer to snipe him, and yet somehow it almost worked against him, and just kind of a mistech in the angles and whatnot end up taking that stock away. But that being said, Owzer's on the verge. Well, I was about to say the verge of a 3 stock, and then he landed on the bomb, and I don't know what's happening this game. There's a lot going on here, but Mr. Saturn is the one that is trying to find a way back now as he eats a down B. That's a lot of percent his way. He's almost at kill percent as well. Owzer hanging on at 88, finds another side B. Not going to do it quite yet. Oh, well, that one will. My goodness, the forward air caught, and what happened to this game? There was so much back and forth. There were a lot of odd interactions to try and dissect here.
Let me paint a picture of what happens in fighting games as well, and in Smash Bros. Ultimate, is that in a heavy punish game kind of meta, characters that come up and playstyles that are developed are meant to avoid some of that punish game. They're meant to be like, okay, play a little bit defensive, be a little bit more careful, slow-paced neutral into a fast-paced advantage. However, what we just witnessed was what felt like 2018 Smash Ultimate, where both of them have this vibe of, we're playing a new game, we can hold forward, everyone has a frame 3 jump squat, so just running around and jumping is super easy, and then we'll just and we're both competent players, so we're gonna just hold forward and scrap at each other, and here comes the Little Mac.
Alright, so second Little Mac of the day. Mr. Saturn, by the way, has only played the various Link forms in EGFC, mostly Adult Link and a little bit of Young Link. So Little Mac making his first appearance here and eating 75% to start. Not the start you're looking for.
No, but I don't know if he cares.
Oh my goodness! Oh, what a forwarder!
It feels like these two players are the most, or like in a Discord call somewhere, like talking the most amount of smack to each other. It's like, that was free. It's like, you can't even beat my Little Mac. Like, something's going on back here, because this is haymaker after haymaker, and the down smash connects.
Ooh, not that time though. Yeah, the second one not going to land, but that one will. That's a stock off the board, and excuse me, Mr. Saturn evening things back up. KO Punch also almost online here, as that neutral B will put some percent on the board, but also puts KO Punch online, and that forward air gonna knock it away. So Owzer kind of getting away with one there. Mr. Saturn now gonna have to find a different way to respond, but he can't do so when he's eating those down Bs. I think that's the second one that's really caught him off guard, and that's a full 20% on the board. Nearly a shield break too off of Halo.
Usually, yeah, that should break shield, but didn't land I don't believe landed the first hit, so the shield survives and he eats 90 for it. Mr. Saturn looking for a forward smash, I would hazard to guess, because when on the floor, that has been the vibe. Just trying to poke, keeping him out. Yeah, so like that was a long time without someone getting hit. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I was saying there was a lot of dancing around shield there along the ledge, and no KO punch once again. Mr. Saturn gonna eat even more percent here, so Owzer in full control this one. 140, nearly 150 on Mr. Saturn now. That one not gonna land. Mr. Saturn, if he can find a way to take the stock, the point differential could be massive. Doesn't pull the trigger on the up B. Forward tilts don't land either. There's one that lands, but Owzer should be able to recover from this. Can't find the down smash. The armor through actually ends up kind of saving him. The weak hit of that down air doesn't fully land, but that up B should do it. It dies off the top, and Owzer gets a 2 stock and seals away set number 3.
double 2-stock on the Link and then the Little Mac. So that's a 6-point swing as it just seems to go back and forth for St. John's and Seton Hall. The differential now totaling up to, it'll be 11-9 as they are compensated for Titco's 3-stock and then follow up 2-stock. So, here we are in Game 3 with just basically we're watching controlled chaos ensue. How you feeling, bud?
It's so odd to see because it's so different from what we've seen. I'm thrown off by it because here's the thing: Mr. Saturn has typically played Link, right? He's played the Link and Young Link, and he's typically a lot slower paced about it, right? Because Link, there's a lot of setup. There's the bomb throws, the boomerangs, and then you have those quick options like up B out of shield and forward tilt if he needs it, but those are kind of few and far between. The switch to Little Mac is a very different change of pace, and to use it, it's like you said, it's controlled chaos because it is just, hey, I am going to hit you, and both players are just tunnel visioning on it, and there's a very little kind of mix-up, I guess, to it, and so that thought process, and really Owser has kind of been that type of player for Seton Hall as well, where he typically is playing a little bit more patient and then picking and choosing his moments to go in. So for both players to just kind of abandon that playstyle completely and say, I am going to punch you. Just straightforward, just back to back, just punch for punch. It is a threw the notes out the window for that one because that was a wild third set between those two, and on top of that, everything seemed to connect. There were very few hits that missed.
They were pressing buttons out there, and they all those buttons were working. Like, we saw 3 different down Bs, all of them connected on the part of Owser, all of them connected. There was a point in time where the game plan for Mr. Saturn was simply, I'm going to land and run around and then forward smash you, and every other time it kind of worked. So it was just brawler after brawler, punch for punch, and naturally speaking, in games like that, the heavy character wins.
And with that win, Seton Hall jumps back into the lead. Now it is only a 2-point lead, so again, could be easily made back up. Yeah, it could be easily made back up in one set. The players appear to be locked in for both teams. Looks like Trey, the captain of Seton Hall, being locked in this 4th spot. He will be going up against, I believe, Alomamola for the side of St. John's. Now, Alomamola has been very good this season. 8-1. I think he's gone exclusively Joker this split, or at least for this season. Although I believe he's played other characters in the past. Trey 1-9, and he's also kind of in that whole cast of characters dilemma. 3 characters to his name. We've mostly seen the Fox. We've seen a little bit of Falco. And on rare occasion, the Rosalina and Luma has made an appearance. So curious to see which one he brings to the table to go up against this Joker.
I believe as of recently, from seeing games in this split, Trey has been favoring the Falco as of late. Joker, oh, hello there. That's no space animal. That's the space woman out here going against the I think it's the only thief in the roster in Joker as Alomamola. We'll get to see what kind of playstyle that they headed into with this Joker, whether it be trying to be more of the mix-up heavy gun, heavy usage of gun and more mid-range kind of play, or are they the dash back more of the support kind of Joker who uses the individual gunshots not to create openings on approach, but to force Trey into mistakes.
So far, Trey gotten a little bit of percent on him, but with Arsene on the table and Trey at 80%, he's got to be very careful. Doesn't get the follow-up on the up air. That up smash could have been dangerous, and Alomomola continuing to press here. Very dangerous around those shields.
With the exception of that back air, Trey played around Arsene extremely well and keeping the percents very even, though falling into the get-up attack. Now, for perhaps not the remainder of this stock, we will be seeing just normal Joker bounce around, but I love how Alomomola has been moving thus far, just bouncing back and forth and using Joker's combination as a fast faller, but with high acceleration. The Luma comes in twice, first to get Alomomola off ledge for a easy landing, and then is part of that down smash to take the stock, though these stocks are evened right back up.
Things back to even, like you said. I feel like Trey, one of the things that he's done in particularly, at least for the first stock very well, he's trying to keep Alomomola up in the air, trying to juggle this Joker. But look at the combo game here from Alomomola. There's a quick 60, almost 70, making almost the stock off of that back air. Alomomola, he is moving right now, and Trey having a real difficult time of getting back to stage and finding his footing.
Yeah, he's not playing like his namesake at all. Alomomola, traditionally in Pokemon, is seen as like a support wish passing Pokemon using that bulk. This Alomomola is instead a high frenzy assault beast. And with Arsene on re-grab to boot, that down air is going to come in every day of the week and give Alomomola their first stock lead of the set.
Great recognition there by Alomomola to recognize that that ledge re-grab and get that spike. And now Trey on their last stock and eating a ton of percent for it. The second loom was gone. Oh, Trey is in trouble. 63% on their last stock, and they're still trying to find a way to get one more off the board of Alomomola as they lap now in percent, and the pressure continues off stage, and the up B goes the wrong way, and Alomomola gets a 2-stock.
There has been no 1-stocks. It's 2-stock or bust for both these teams. It's like I either wash you or get washed. Everybody has agreed to that. Either way, that is Alomomola taking the game 1 and evening up the score count in the set 11-11, as both players will now try to decide who gets out of this set. Who gets out of this set with the lead? That was a really good play though from Trey, getting the Luma support and the stock with it. I almost want to see the Trey Falco, though, because while these fundamentals were there with this Rosalina, it felt like Alomomola had free range of movement because of the lack of presence that Trey was able to set up on stage. Almost felt like they were in constant disadvantage, being so floaty, and movement was left a little bit to be desired. The Falco, on the other hand, not only is Falco a naturally faster character and both in tempo, damage, and flat-out run speed, but also and the ability to cover stage, but also Falco's combo game can give Joker a lot of hell. Joker is a fast faller, as mentioned prior, but also has such a good weight and flexibility to where he's very much combo food when you get the hit on Joker. The key being when, because he can be hard to hit.
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, I think of Rosalina and Luma in that also kind of setup heavy category, right? You have to get Luma away from you first to really do some damage, and Trey never had the time. Alomomola was just in his face a lot, and that's to the credit of Alomomola, because getting rid of Luma, that's what they did almost instantly. Those back airs were just so clean at, making sure that Trey never had the opportunity to allow that circumstance to happen in the first place. So credit where credit's due. Olomomola's Joker is playing great. But yes, I do agree. I think Trey needs a little bit of a faster character so he can keep up the pace. And, those lasers, while they don't do a ton of percent, they also, slowed the game down a little bit. So as he stays with Rosalie and Luma here, I think that's what I'm looking for in particular for game number 2, his use of Luma. Can he, make more use of Luma and set the, Luma up for possibly more combos and follow-ups?
Yeah, not just seeing Luma as a tool to keep by Rosalina's side as a most stat boost, but rather using Luma as intended, which is a puppeteer mechanic. It has, that forward smash rocked the house of Alomomola, but not finding the stop either way. Yet there's Arsene, and the blue man is back out for this back air, but not finding it the first time, but there is the second. This should be another one. No, going for down air instead.
Yeah, and those back airs were dangerously close. That up smash will do it, though. Alomomola just holding the shield, catching the nair, and getting that up smash. And now, look at this quick 37. Down air. Oh, that, if Arsene stuck around, that might have been the stock. That was dangerously close for Trey.
So this stage is really good for Joker, if you couldn't already tell. The low ceiling means Joker can take out stocks even earlier with things like up smash, which is a somewhat reliable out of shield option, especially with Arsene. But also there is setups to find down airs on these top platforms, or down airs and grabs on these top platforms, which makes Joker's usually traditional damage combo of up throw up air kill super early.
94% on Alomomola right now. Trey still trying to find a way to take this stock off the board, but they're at 137. They got to play careful, otherwise they'll find themselves on their own last stock. Dash attack, not going to do it quite yet. Trey's got to back away here. He will be able to snap the ledge, but the nair pushes him back off again. And that's an early air dodge. That's going to be the stock, and Alomomola only at 103. Trey's got his back against the wall.
Yeah, he really needs to take out this stock in order to keep and trust the swingy nature of the game to not let it get too far out of hand. But this is so many IHA, the little snaps that are giving Trey so much hell. Back at 70, now 78, and climbing a couple back airs and nearly whiffing right next to the blast zone. That could have been the stock. But Trey has just not been able to find a hit in for about what feels like 30 seconds. Just put in disadvantage once and smothered to the very end.
A 3 stock by Alomomola in that second game, and Trey looked lost. He could not get anything going towards the back half of that match. Just all this offstage pressure, and Trey did not have an answer. So with that is a huge amount of points headed St. John's way as we get ready for this 5th set.
Yeah, now a 5-point lead for St. John's, leading into our last game of the set, where it will be Jimbo, Gymbo, on the side of Seton Hall, and EJJ on the side of St. John's.
And those are 2 players that I think these teams in particular put a lot of emphasis on. Jimbo, 3 and 5. We've seen Lucas and we've seen Sora from him, so we'll see which one he opts for. But before we get to that match in particular, let's go back and look at this one, because Alomomola, I mean, what was really the difference maker here, I guess, because just Trey, once again, could not get anything going. The second he was off stage, it felt like he was done for.
Yeah, it really feels like this. It was impartial a matchup thing, but also you can overcome just about any matchup. Like, Rosalina is far from a character that can just get stomped for free, but Joker can be played in so many different flexible ways, and he can be punishing to play. As mentioned, his combo weight is really rough upon getting hit, but having not a consistent out of shield option besides jump and any sort of footstool shenanigans, which Aloma Mola wasn't really doing, means sticking in front of Joker at a well-spaced buttons usually means he can't really do anything about it. However, when Joker is played like you're unmapping the shield button and you're just moving and grooving all over the place, and Arsene is coming in at the perfect times, and coming and going even at the perfect times, that is what shows people that Joker is where he should be on any sort of tier list. That's why he is seen so highly by the community, because when played right, he can do things like that.
Certainly, one of the scariest characters to play against, especially when they are moving like Alomomola was. And Alomomola, he gets to 9-1 on the season. A very strong performance from him. 5-point lead here for St. John, so not insurmountable by any means, but it does mean that Seton Hall, they can't really afford to give up any more points, and they have to win at least one of these games by a 2-stock. They can't afford the bare minimum if they are going to try and get the win here. But the win is going to be very difficult to get in the first place, because EJJ, he is one of the new faces to the to this St. John's roster, and he has been very good. 7-4, playing both Diddy Kong and Rob, and he has gotten some of. He's had some tough matchups in the past, but when he wins, my goodness, does he look like he is on fire. Numerous 3-stocks against numerous opponents in a couple of his victories. This is really the true test of mettle for Seton Hall. If they can win this one, then, I mean, they are back and alive in their season, but EJJ is looking to shut them down.
Yeah, and if he's functioning like his character picks are, with both Diddy Kong and Rob, then it makes a lot of sense, right? Rob and Diddy Kong are characters that functionally, when they're playing in a winning matchup or when playing against a player that may not know all the proper counterplay, things can get one-sided heavily. But when faced with a player that's prepared or a matchup that's not so great, they can get kind of blown out too. So we'll see who he's going up against in Jimbo 2000, but it is gonna be rough for anyone to go up against a duology such as that. A lot of item play to be had in this coming set on both sides, because when going up against either Diddy Kong or Rob, getting control of their banana or gyro is testament to proper counterplay, because you want to take away that entire aspect of their game plan.
Jimbo, I already mentioned his characters. Lucas or Sora seems to be his two to go to. Sora seems to be the option for Jimbo in this set, and it is the Diddy Kong making the appearance for the final match between these two in the Big East rivalry. We'll have to see who comes out on top. EJJ, the first one to land some hits, but Jimbo quick to respond, and that banana is going to be the key to watch. That's a huge portion of Diddy Kong's kit, and it controls the flow of the matchup, as you can already see EJJ trying to string a few hits together via that banana.
Ooh, I love the aerial monkey flip kick to catch Sora floating in center stage, as that was a very creative Sonic Blade angle too. Both of these two kind of acknowledging where they are in positioning as EJJ's lead is slowly taken down. Jimbo having that disjoint will prove effective, on top of the fact that sniping out a errant monkey flip is going to be huge, with thanks to something like Sora's up air and the coverage that's offered by Thundaga in slower game states.
I actually like that air dodge from, oh my goodness, Jimbo actually reversing the situation, but the counter doesn't land and kind of resets the situation. That monkey flip will do the trick. The catch lands, and so Jimbo will lose his first stock. But EJJ's got to play very careful here. He's at 104. The up B doesn't land, and not a clean punish there from EJJ, so Jimbo will be able to get away. But only for a moment, as look at this quick combo.
Oh, and the monkey flip to call out the shield as well. It really seems like Jimbo doesn't want to rely on spells too much thanks to the quickness of Diddy Kong, yet slamming away at Diddy Kong's shield is not the answer either. Oh, and the tech read was called out as EJJ takes a huge lead.
What a turnaround. That, like you said, the tech read and the forward smash connect, and Jimbo now on his last stock, using the forwarder to kind of interrupt any continuing pressure from EJJ, but still, he's looking for a way to try and answer back, and he finds the up air to do so. So stock number 1 off the board of EJJ.
Banana interrupts the Blizzaga and before it can snipe out Diddy Kong. Like, we're in a weird position for Sora to be. You want to have the chance to use your spells, and you want to have the chance to do something like that, but also, only a 1-stock victory.
Well, one of the stranger ways for a game to end, and I think actually, so from my understanding, what happens here, the side B sends him downward because it acts like a homing attack. So it drags him down, and you can't up B out of the side B for Sora. So
no, he already used his up B. So
he's just in free fall. And EJJ recognizes, hey, he's falling towards me. If this jetpack hits him, there's a chance he can recover from this. So he pulls up short on the up B so that hitbox doesn't hit Sora or hit Jimbo. And they both end up losing a stock for it, but EJJ has the stock lead. So that's, it plays to his advantage.
Yeah, and I want to call out just this. This was we're back at the beginning. Either way, in that final stock moment, the play from EJJ to pull to the side, to pull off stage, knowing that the up air, up B wouldn't result in the stock quite yet, despite it being a lot of damage. He was calling out the fact that if you get greedy and try to close this out with a Sonic Blade, then you die too. You're pulled too far and you can't recover after you are in free fall after using the Sonic Blade off of an aerial sweep. And it's a good play on EJJ's part to acknowledge that, even at the risk of his own stock, to secure the W and now make it this 6-point advantage, forcing Jimbo into double 2-stock or bust.
He could, in theory, get a 1-stock here and then a 3-stock, but the way EJJ is playing, that feels like it's going to be like climbing a mountain, because EJJ has not made this very easy for Jimbo. He's got 74% on him on his first stock already. Oh, I thought that was surely a spike incoming, but Jimbo able to get out of it for the moment. He's still at 90% and has barely scratched EJJ on this stock as he's starting to finally find a few hits.
Yeah, this is the Diddy Kong mantra. It really feels like you can play around Banana, but can you play around Monkey Flip? Can you play around Diddy's quick aerials in scrappy situations? Are you ready for grounded starters like down tilt and dash attack? It's a lot to worry about, and does Sora have the kit to contest to Diddy Kong in all of these phases? The answer is yes, but it seems like EJJ is very, very prepared for some of the early answers that Jimbo has.
So far, Jimbo at 59% flat. EJJ sitting at 88. This could be another follow-up. The dash attack will not land. No good air dodge in to get away from the rest of that combo. But the banana lands into a forward smash, and EJJ, it feels like everything he's thrown out, there's a follow-up to it. Just about every move has purpose. That forward smash, up smash, not going to take the stock quite yet. And Jimbo can't get the follow-up off of the freeze, so EJJ gets out alive.
Great no mash on EJJ's part. There's so many instances where people expect you to mash out as quickly as possible, but when sitting on stage like that, you can use the ice basically as a shield against all incoming attacks.
And EJJ still searching to try and take that last stock, but it's Jimbo getting the back throw, not going to do it quite yet. EJJ will make it back to stage. He's at 170 and he will fall. I believe that was forward air or forward tilt coming through and taking that stock. So Jimbo has evened things up, but he is at 126. But he is getting a juggle here, 46 on the EJJ, but a little bit overextended. The up smash punish comes through, and Jimbo's on his last stop.
Yeah, just a little late on the up tilt. But a little late on the up tilt and not reacting in time for the shield, which could have been further extension. But Jimbo kind of starting to lose a little bit of the ground. They made up the aerial monkey flip kick into the potential angel drop, but nothing doing. As having Thundaga as your spell can be so rough because you want to use it advantageously, but you lose access to Firaga and Blizzaga, which are so much better in neutral game states.
Trying to get around this banana and the ledge. He did manage to get rid of that Thundaga. And now he's at 95, but the follow-up, the late roll there actually saving him. Rolls away once again. EJJ was waiting for the roll in, so smartly Jimbo got away from that. Now EJJ, tricky banana setup there, nearly taking the stock. 124 now on Jimbo. Does he find a way around this ledge once more? Side Bs come through and they do connect, but they won't be able to take the stock quite yet. Knocked off the barrels, but he can get back in time. That was a crazy recovery from EJJ, and still at high percents here. That does it. Okay. Just the weak hit of back air.
Just a simple falling back air, and it's prevalent to how Diddy Kong can play the game, right? These quick moves will eventually take the stock, and you don't need to always worry about closing out a stock at around 100. At 124 here, with a simple poke on a light character, that's sometimes all you need.
And Diddy Kong back air is surprisingly strong too. It was close between these two schools until all of a sudden it was not. Aloma Mola and EJJ with big performances really stepping up in their sets in particular to give St. John's the victory. But for EJJ, I feel like this was pretty clean overall. Jimbo had his moments where he certainly was getting a lot done, but the fact that Diddy Kong was able to survive to 171 on his first stock, I think was indicative of how the set really went. It was just a grind for Seton Hall to get anything done.
Yeah, after a couple of fiery performances on the Bowsers, it was just slowly and steadily being pulled away from them until the final, or rather fast and strongly being pulled away from them. Thanks to the parts of their anchors on Aloma Mola and EJJ, a pair of neutral heavy characters with pronounced punish games, closed out this surprisingly back and forth set. But St. John's does in fact take it, and will be setting up for an interview.
We'll be setting up for an interview after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with St. John's. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the EGFC. We are here with Titco from St. John's after their victory over Seton Hall. And Titco, this one, what a day it was for you guys. A very back and forth set. How you guys feeling about your performance this week?
We're hyped. We're just really feeling it lately. We spent the whole weekend just grinding offline with each other. So we were ready for the EGF when it came around to it. So we were just all ready to play and just like show off like all the stuff we've been learning over the weekend and all the people we've been facing.
Yeah, I think I can hear them still playing in the background, those GameCube controllers
I was
going
just
in.
telling them, I was saying that even though we won, we still got to grind. So they're playing right now. I'm sorry.
No, it's respectable. The grind never quits, as it seems like you guys never seem to slack off. In the position where you're at, this will bring you, of course, to, I believe, this will be 10-4 overall in the season, 9-4,
8-4.
8-4. Okay, I was close. But either way, you're thick in that playoff hunt, trying to make that same run you did in previous playoff appearances. What do you feel like is going to be different this time around?
This time around, we're a lot more motivated because here at St. John's, we do a bracket every Friday, and we've been having a lot of New York PR show up to our brackets. So we've been not placing as well as we wanted to in our bracket. So now we're a lot more motivated to get better at the game and just learn mechanics overall. Just overall improve as players and improve as a team. And we're really working on our coaching each other, really like trying to optimize our labbing so we can like give you guys the best content they could be.
Yeah, one of the stories I think coming into this match was that, J Grunt and Mr. L have been such huge players for you guys in the past, but this was the week that the depth of the roster got to be the star of the show. So I guess, how was it playing without really the two big anchors on your roster?
J and L are two big anchors and two big juggernauts on our team, and they're 100% key to this team's success. But because our motto has always been we're playing as a team, we're not playing as individuals, I have backup plans and I have other players I can rely on so that J and L don't have to hold all the burden. We're all trying to play catch up with them so we can be just as good as them, if not better. So we don't have to we don't want to have to rely on them for a W. So we just want to overall just improve. So us doing so good this week without J and L really shows that our practice is paying off.
Very, very true, especially given the swingy nature of this game as a whole. Prior to the interview, we counted exactly one stock victory that happened in the entire set. What are your feelings about going back and forth in such haywire scenarios? As both a team and as an individual contributing to that score with a 3-stock and a 2-stock yourself.
After the first loss in the first set, our hype kind of died down a little bit. So getting that momentum from game 2 really helped us just snowball, and we tried to keep on that snowball. But I think Alzer is his name, the third player that went to Bowser. He really like put a roadblock in our stuff, and we had to regroup after that match and really like look at like, all right, this is what we got to do, this is what we got to do to adapt. And as you saw, we did it, and we did it very well.
You were the second set of this matchup, and you opted to go PT this week. We've almost exclusively seen the Pikachu from you in the past. Well, I guess I'm curious why the character change.
I dropped Pikachu. Squirtle's better, and I picked up Pokemon Trainer on Saturday, and I really just started grinding him over the weekend, and that's the result of my hyperbolic time chamber this weekend.
Hey, sometimes all you need is that character change to boost your confidence and fit your playstyle, and Squirtle is definitely a house, that's for sure.
Exactly. Thank you.
The entire game was great. Do you have any other final shout-outs or any final mentions you want to give out, whether to your team or otherwise?
I just want to shout out my team. They've been working so hard to just improve overall, and they've really just been They've been grinding. I tell them where to be at what time, and they're there, and they're down to play for hours. And I just want to really shout out Jay Grunt and the Grunt Gang for all like the help they've been doing just to help us lab and just like overall teach us stuff so we can all improve as players overall and bring us to locals and teach us other stuff and have us play like some of their crew members just so we can catch up. So I want to give a big shout out to the Grunt Gang and Jay and L for helping us unlock our hidden potential.
That's great. And repping one of the college, representing one of the strongest regions, if not the strongest region in the world. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for joining us, Titco, and we will see you guys next week when you guys play against South Alabama. We will see you there, and once again, congrats on your hard work paid off this week with the W.
Thank you so much, and thank you guys for having us.
All right, and with that, we will be cutting to a short intermission to get ready for our final set of the night. When we come back, Weber State, they get to play in their 4th ever EGF game, and they're going up against the Marquette Golden Eagles in a tight race for the playoffs. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.